What's up, and welcome to Unspoken Conversations. I'm James Crow, and here we talk about issues and situations that are in plain sight. Things that people hate to talk about, but it needs to be said, from relationships, families, friends, and life. Our goal is to shed light and understanding so that just maybe we can start to rebuild relationships, families, and ultimately our communities. What's up, guys, and welcome back. In this episode, I want to talk about baggage and trauma. The difference between baggage and trauma. All too often when we start dealing with new people, we either have to deal with their drama or their drama. I didn't mean their drama, I mean their trauma or their baggage. Here's what this looks like. A person with baggage, almost everybody has baggage. Matter of fact, everybody has baggage. Baggage is just what somebody else had to deal with. So somebody else's things that came from somebody before you. That's what that is. Baggage. So if you start dating somebody and they have kids, that's a form of baggage. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's a form of baggage. That's something other than the person that you're dealing with. That person comes with something else, right? So if let's just say they've been married before. That's baggage, right? If they are still married, but they're single and you start dating this person, you got to understand this is a form of baggage. Do you want to keep going or do you want to stop? You get what I'm saying? So people are still bound to people. Let's just say, for example, they've been divorced, but they're still living in the house that person that they was, with their previous person with. If that person is still living in that house, but that other person ain't there, that house to you may be baggage because all the memories between this person and them and that house still remains. So to you, to this new person, that house may be baggage. Some people can't deal with that. Sometimes it's a car. Sometimes it's clothes. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's family. The person that you're dealing with is still bound to their ex's family, which is baggage, right? So baggage isn't necessarily bad. Baggage is just what comes with that person. Now, trauma is different. You have good traumas and you have bad traumas. I personally don't believe in good trauma. I don't believe in good trauma. I believe trauma is trauma. Trauma is something that has you stuck. You're in your brain. When things pop up, things come about, and it triggers people, it comes from traumas. So I strongly believe that a person with trauma in the middle of nowhere, they can have ups and downs. Ups when the traumas are at their lowest, so they're not really thinking about them, they're not going through shit. And when those traumas are triggered, when triggers are hit, those traumas show its face. So those are normally things that a person has been through, not their baggage. And all too often people get these two mixed up. I've had numerous conversations with somebody and they was like, well, baggage and trauma is the same thing. No, it's not. It's not the same. A person having kids, 2 and 3 kids by somebody else, that's baggage, but it's not trauma. That person is not traumatized by the kids, nor having kids by that person. They're not traumatized by the kids. It is just a form of baggage that I'm going to have to adjust my life to what's going on with this person. All right. But if this person has trauma, I have to now adjust my life based on their trauma. So if this person can't get over shit that's happened to them in their past, now I have to bear the weight. I have to carry this weight. If every time I say the word Justina because this chick has been cheated on by her husband or ex-boyfriend by some chick named Justina, so I can't say the word Justina, and I just happen to have a sister named Justina, you see the problem that we're going to have here? This chick can't stand the name Justina, so I can't say the word Justina, and I can't even say my sister's name. I got to give my sister a nickname because this person is so traumatized that it sparks up an argument. I can't stand that name. Every time I say this word, that's trauma. And it's going to cause a problem between our relationship. Now, the name is just an example. Sometimes it's not a name. Sometimes it's just people going certain places. Sometimes it's passing certain blocks. Some people got some weird ass traumas, is all I'm saying. And y'all will make everybody else's life hard based on the traumas that y'all have been through. And to me, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I understand traumas, and I understand it's hard as hell to get over certain traumas. But if you bring that trauma to a new relationship, you run the risk of tearing up your relationship because they don't have to deal with it.
It is what it is.
They don't have to deal with your shit. They don't. As sad as it sounds, a person does not have to deal with you. They have just as much right to be here as you do. So, whatever your traumas are, before you get into another relationship, you might want to work on it. You might want to go see somebody. You might want to get some help. You might want to something. Go see a counselor. Something. Figure out a way to work on this trauma so that every trigger doesn't spark you up and run the risk of destroying your relationship. Traumas are real. Traumas are real. It's stupid. It's stupid, but it's real. You should be able to, I don't want to say minimize it, but at the same time, I mean minimize it. You need to be able to minimize it so that it doesn't destroy your life. You understand what I'm saying? Traumas are, it's major. Imagine every time, for those of you that don't know me, my sister was murdered and the police did not find her body. I did. So imagine every time I seen a movie and somebody got their limbs cut off, which is how I found my sister's body. Just imagine me being traumatized where I get all depressed and have to go to my room and cry like a baby, and for the next day or two, my whole world is wrecked because of the trauma that I done seen. Imagine that. He'll talk shit about me as a man and you talk shit about me as a person. This man need to get over that shit. That was years ago. Imagine that. 10 years from now, imagine me still dealing with this trauma so bad that where it's ruining everything. A job. Imagine me having a job and this trauma ruining my job because it's not that I can't let it go, but I let it bother me to where it ruins my life. Think about that. And this is the shit that we're doing. This is literally the shit that we're doing. We have trauma. We get traumatized by I ain't going to say the most basic shit because like I said, that was a serious situation, but I cannot let that bother my future. I can't let it wreck my job. I can't let it wreck my relationships. I can't let it wreck my life. Every time I go and see a movie, I have to be able to deal with this on a small degree. Not saying I can't think about it. I can think about it. But I can't show these emotions to everybody because now everybody's going to be on eggshells every time something like this happens. Imagine it's been 4 years. That happened in 2020. It's 24, right? Imagine every time we go to see a movie, me and my lady or kids or family, whatever, and then in this movie or sitting watching a movie, whatever, imagine somebody getting their limbs cut off and everybody around me like, because they know what it's going to do to me. Everybody's on eggshells because my fucking trauma has them on eggshells. That's not cool. It's not cool. It's not fair to them. So not only is it a form of baggage because they have to deal with it, but it's the trauma. The trauma makes them have to change their life. And I can either be selfish and make them deal with it, or I can be selfless and find a way to deal with this trauma so that it doesn't rub off on everybody around me. And some of you motherfuckers need to figure out how to deal with your traumas, your triggers. I don't let it trigger me. For a year straight after I found my sister's complete torso, I forced myself to watch the Walking Dead. You have any idea how many times people get their arms, legs, and head cut off in that fucking TV show? And I watched every episode until there was no more seasons and no more episodes to watch. I'm still waiting for the new ones to come out. You have any idea how many times I seen in a TV show what I saw in real life? It's a lot. It's a lot. The first 3 or 4 episodes had my stomach turning, gave me headaches. Gave me headaches. I didn't get nightmares, but just imagine that. Just imagine that. Mm-hmm. That will cause some serious trauma if you let it. If you let it. Sometimes you have to approach a thing head on. You can't run from your traumas. You can't run from what happened to you. You have to run into it so that it doesn't bother you. The shit will chase you. And every time you look over your shoulder, it's right there. It's still there. It's still there. 2, 3, and 5, and 10 years later, you still running from the same shit that once hurt you. And it will catch you every time you look over your shoulder without even thinking about it. So you run into this shit head on. Figure out how to face it. And then you put that shit out of your mind. You get it out of your mind. So that when you do have these triggers, you can move it out the way, suppress it. It don't hit so hard. It don't bother you so much. It is not forgetting about what happened. It's not forgetting about the person. It's just getting past what has once damn near broken you. That's all it is. You're not supposed to live your life with a trauma knocking on your door. Every time you turn around, this shit is waiting to squeeze in. If you understand Satan, if you understand the devil, if you understand demons, that's exactly what it does. It comes to torment you. And those type of things torment you. And you have to understand, don't let shit torment you. You have to figure out how to not let shit torment you. Face it. He told you that as a kid, didn't he? Ain't nothing in your closet. Ain't nothing under your bed. Don't be scared. Didn't they tell you that shit as a kid? It's the same fucking scenario. All they're talking about is trauma. They called it monsters. Come on now. As an adult, y'all need to figure out how to put away your bad thoughts, put away your dreams, your nightmares, your traumas. You need to find a way to suppress this shit. Let me rephrase that. I don't mean suppress it, because you can suppress a thing long enough to when it comes out upside down and sideways, and now you got a different problem, because it'll make that shit come out swinging. And then you back people in corners. Then you be real nasty and really rude when it comes out because you suppressed it. I don't mean suppress it. I mean find a way to deal with it so that you can put it aside and not have to live through it all the time. You get what I'm saying? You have to figure that out. Trauma is a real thing. Baggage, a person can live with baggage and not even realize it's baggage. Don't even realize it's baggage. If for whatever reason I end up in another relationship, the kids that I once called my kids that were not my biological, I will still call them my kids, like it or not. And the next person that I deal with has two options. Deal with it or not. That's the only two options. Deal with it or not. They don't have to deal with me. They don't have to. And they don't have to deal with the fact that I have kids that ain't mine. They don't have to deal with it. But I will never, ever not call those kids mine that I once called my kids. I will never not call them my kids. It's just what it is. So to somebody, that's baggage. You can call it what you want. To somebody, that's baggage. And I personally don't give a damn. If it ends me up by myself, it ends me up by myself. But I cannot turn my back on the kids that I once called mine, because at this point, they're mine. Blood or not, they're not my blood. They're my kids. So, yeah, trauma and baggage is not the same. It's not the same. I have baggage and I have traumas, but my traumas don't haunt me. Some of y'all's trauma run y'all down, scare y'all. Some of y'all's traumas have y'all waking up in cold sweats and all that. And it's only because you have little things that you do to try to suppress the traumas at the moment. Some of y'all drink to get rid of traumas. That shit don't work. Some of y'all smoke to get rid of y'all's traumas. That shit don't work. Some of y'all is out here to get rid of traumas. That don't work. It's fun. All those things are fun. But the moment you stop doing whatever it is you're doing, those traumas are still there. So that shit don't work. It don't work. And I know y'all know it don't work. It's just fun. It's a temporary Band-Aid. That's all it is. And if you make it past 35 years old and you don't realize that all that shit that you're doing is just a temporary Band-Aid, somebody's stupid. And I don't think it's me. Think about that. Because it's like I said, Some of your traumas, you just need to lock it away. Lock it away. And I say lock it away, not meaning lock it away and forget about it. I'm saying you got to figure out how to deal with it so that it doesn't bother you. It don't tear you up every time you're triggered. That's all it is. Simple as that. We had 15 minutes. Nice. Didn't make it to 20, just over 10. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I talked about that because it is such a real thing and people don't realize it. Ladies, some of y'all have trauma from previous boyfriends, from previous marriages, from previous dudes that you just was cutting on and found out that this person was doing this, and this with this person, and this person. And y'all will take that trauma and y'all will bring that into y'all's next relationship or 3 next relationships. And everybody that you deal with got to deal with the shit that you dealt with from other people. That is not cool. That is not cool. I am not saying men don't do this because I know some fucking dudes that do this, but I'm talking about ladies. Y'all really gotta y'all gotta chill with that shit because a lot of women say dudes ain't shit, but y'all fucking with dudes. How you gonna say a dude ain't shit, but you fucking with a dude? That's about, to me, that's about as goofy as a feminist, an extreme feminist having a boyfriend. Or talking about you love your daddy or you love your brother. How you gonna be this much of a feminist, but you love the dudes in your life, but you hate dudes? What the fuck? That's goofy as hell. That's neither here nor there. I ain't trying to get off subject. I just had to throw that out there. But if you have trauma, from other men, be careful who you get with. Be careful who you get with. Be careful what you bring to this person because your traumas might run them off and they may be a good dude who actually might bring value to your life. They just might. They may be able to help you and they may be able to help you through some of the shit that you're dealing with. But if your traumas won't allow you to, because there's been women that I've dealt with who was traumatized by bullshit that they've been through with other men. And me, I don't have to deal with your bullshit. So me, as my buddy King would say, I'm out like a boner in sweatpants. I'm out. Deuces. I'm not dealing with it. So if you traumatized, stay the fuck away from me. I can deal with baggage. I cannot and will not deal with somebody's traumas constantly being forced onto me. I won't. I can deal with it a couple of times and I can try to help you through this, baby. Let me tell you about something that I did. Let me tell you about how I faced my trauma. Let me tell you about how I put my trauma aside. If she don't want to hear it, red flag number 1. If she'll hear it, but it still pops up and she says, it's not gonna happen overnight, but it's been 5 years. I ain't doing that shit again. 5 years was an example, but I'm just saying, if I've had to say this for 2 to 5 years and she's still doing it, at some point I'm gonna have to cut my losses because she's gonna be detrimental to me. She's gonna be detrimental to us. Traumas are serious. Y'all get your traumas looked at. Simple as that. Get your goddamn traumas looked at. That shit is not cool to carry that into relationships. Now I'm at 20 minutes. Until next time, have a good night.
They are so full of the cap, man. I can't take it, need to break it. If they